Back on that job before I put you on it.
Brent, I'm not leaving till I do what I came to do. Now you tell that man using your trough ashtray to get that cigarette out of the way. Maybe we'll get some work done around here.
I'm responsible for that man. Get back on that job before I put you on it. You hear me?
Yeah, I saw you slap that man down the plant the other day, and how you're getting by with it, I don't know. You've really got him hopping around here, but let me assure you of this, Brent. I'm not jumping for you or nobody else.
Fighting in the plant is not permitted.
Well, I just felt Mr. Brant was using his job as an excuse to throw his weight around.
Violence is no excuse. The office is open any time to discuss problems.
You know, that's the funny thing. We just don't seem to get nothing done about it.
Here is your check. I don't know if Mr. Brant wants to press charges or not. But my advice to you is to get on out of here.
Ronald, from the information I've gathered, you've had quite a day. Driving under an influence of alcohol, hitting 2 cars head on, and cursing everyone out at the scene of the accident. And it's just a miracle somebody wasn't killed. Not to mention 2 assault charges on the same day.
At the time, I was so intoxicated that I thought that I was on a single road. And the drivers I hit were in my lane. Embarrassed. I'm just embarrassed about the whole situation. It's just embarrassing.
Embarrassed? You should be more than embarrassed. If this is your first offense, maybe things wouldn't look so bad. But you got a court record as long as my arm, and most of it comes from the results of drinking. And I know it's a little late to be telling you this, but you got to do something about that drinking problem. And they've got a good program at the Veterans Hospital, and you're a veteran, and you're eligible to attend. What I want you to do is to get in the Veterans Hospital, and maybe, just maybe, we might have a foot to stand on.
Just what are my chances of walking out of that courtroom free man?
Better than flying through that door. Now, we've pulled some good ones off in the past. Maybe we can do it again.
Everything we've ever worked for, all these years, it's just going to the courthouse.
I try to make it up to you.
Ronald, I've talked to your attorney, Mr. Johnson, about your problem, and I'm fully aware of why you're here. Do you realize that hundreds of people are killed on the highways every year as a result of alcohol?
I'm very aware of that.
We have a ward over in Building 2 where alcoholics are brought in daily, many in DTs. We put them under a 6-week rehabilitation program. Through proper diet, medication, we get them back on their feet. Many of these return because they're not willing to help themselves.
Counselor, I see alcoholics on the streets daily, like these patients in Building 2. I realize without help, I'm headed down the same path, but give up alcohol, it's not that easy. It's not that easy.
Well, the Veterans Hospital will not deny a veteran help. Now, we can put you in Building 2, but our correctional program is fine for those that want to help themselves.
Counselor, I would like to enter this program any way possible.
Ronald, I feel like you deserve a chance. So take this file patient in minutes, and they'll start processing you in. Ronald, from the staff reports, you have an excellent record. You attended all classes and participated in every one of them. But if my records are correct, you didn't sign up for the anti-abuse program. I'm sure Dr. Craver explained to you that anti-abuse repels the body system against any alcohol.
Well, Counselor, I would just rather not put anything into the system that's going to make me sick.
It's good insurance.
I'm just afraid that one habit will lead to another. I would just prefer to work things out for myself.
Well, Ronald, we got that letter of reference, and we wish you the best of luck.
Ronald was so concerned about this problem that he's took it upon himself to enroll in the alcoholic rehabilitation program at the Veterans Hospital. Your Honor, I'm asking if it's in your power to see fit, give this man a second chance, let him finish his alcoholic program, and return to society a useful citizen.
Sorry, Johnson, I just don't know how to think. I just don't know what to say.
Ronald, I don't know how many more rabbits I can pull out of my hat like that. Now let me give you some personal advice. Now you got your whole life ahead of you. You got a lot of potential. But if you don't watch your step, you're going to blow it. That's right, you're going to blow it. You're going to be down on the count with the rest of them boys. Now I don't think you belong there.
Two-bit punk, I could care less for you and your policy. You just step out of my way or I'll take this place apart and I'll start with you. Move. Mister, you're blocking my way. Are you going to move or do I have to move you? Carson, I told you I wanted you. You're stealing you out. It looks like we have a communications problem. Maynard, we're transporting white liquor across the state line. I'm putting you in charge of the northern region if you think you can handle it.
No problem, Mac.
I won't stand for any interference from any local competition. Any local that makes it through, I want them gunned down at the delivery point. They're also in illegal business, so you won't be reported.
Commissioner Green, in the past months, we've had 5 killings in the region joining North Carolina and Virginia state line. I'm afraid, Commissioner, we've got a gang war on our hands.
I don't think so, Governor. Yesterday we apprehended a suspect, Lamar Cragen. He's an escaped mental patient from the state of New York. He's been tried and convicted for 2 murders. And who knows, he may have been involved in a dozen other homicides.
I don't think so, Commissioner. According to this report, that's the second transfer loaded with white liquor shot off the road this month. 3 cars with tanks were found at the bottom of the mountain with bullet holes in them. Another man was gunned down at a believed delivery point. No, Commissioner, I believe we've got a gang war on our hands between local bootleggers and big city mobsters.
Well, if the problem is all that serious, Governor, don't you feel it's the responsibility of the State Bureau of Investigation, or the state militia, or the National Guard? It is not my responsibility.
Commissioner Green, the responsibility of enforcing the law falls on your shoulders. You will take the necessary actions, or you will face the consequences. Do I make myself clear?
I finally got the promotion I've always wanted. I'm supposed to report to division headquarters Monday.
Frank, you know, I just don't want to take the children out of school.
I've always thought about my family, but what about me? As a policeman, I walked the beat for years. Now I have a chance to be promoted to a lieutenant in the State Bureau of Investigation.
Well, I'll do anything to get you off the street and behind the desk.
Everything will be okay if you can go ahead and let the kids finish out this school year, and I'll send for them. Everything will be okay.
Maynard Crawford's quitting us. I'm afraid to take a chance on some little nobody opening his mouth. We've got too safe an operation to take those kind of chances.
Perhaps we can't change it.
I thought you'd see it my way. Meet me on Willoughby Road tomorrow. We'll shut his mouth permanent.
Good afternoon, Lieutenant Ballinger.
Good afternoon.
My name is Terry Milner. I'm a detective sergeant, and I'd just like to welcome you here.
Pleased to be here.
I know this is kind of a bad time, being your first day and everything, but if you have a few minutes, could you accompany me down to the morgue?
Yeah, what seems to be the problem?
Well, this morning at 4 a.m. we found a man hanging from a tree, and we believe it to be part of the McMahon cover-up, and I think you'd be interested in checking it out.
Indeed, I will.
Lawyer Johnson, how are you?
Oh, not bad, Ronald. How's fishing?
Oh, not bad at all. Come on in and make yourself at home. Lawyer Johnson, do you want to drink a cup of coffee with me?
Ronald, I got some bad news to tell you.
Okay, let's hear it.
They found Crawford yesterday strung up to a tree on Willoughby Road.
Go on.
Crawford was involved in a large bootlegging organization under control of Mr. McMahon. Now, he tried to get out.
You know, this comes as a shock. It just comes as a shock. I've known Crawford for years. It's just hard to take. Just hard to take. I've seen men die, just be taken out and just hung.
There's no doubt in my mind who's responsible for this. There's no proof. McMahon don't make mistakes.
I've seen men die, just be taken out and just hung, just strung up like an animal. It's just hard to take. It just comes as a shock. Years have gone by. Never had a chance to make it up to you. Never had a chance. Crawford, I owe you my life. I've never had a chance to make it up to you. Never had a chance.
What's the matter with you? Don't you know to stop for a blue light? That car before I drag you out, boy. You drunk?
It's just no excuse for such ignorance. As long as I've stood behind you, I've never seen you beat this. This just takes the cake. Ronald, you struck an officer in the line of duty. Now, this is a felony. You could get up to 2 years in prison for this. It's just no excuse, just no excuse.
Did I make a mistake? I don't know why I did it. Maybe I just don't like being roused around. I don't know. For whatever reason, I can't see pulling 2 years for something like that. I just can't see.
The 2 state highway patrolmen have been shot and killed in the past month. And the state legislator's been pushing for stronger laws in the courts statewide. Now, this is a hot issue right now. You could pull a full penalty on this.
I just want you to know that I feel that. I've been rasped around in my own home, drugged down here like a common criminal, and now you tell me I'm subject to 2 years in prison? I can't help what the world situation is. I'm getting a bum rap.
Ronald, I've leveled with you in the past, and I'm leveling with you now. I think you're as good as gone. Now, I've stood behind you in the past, and I'm going to stand behind you now. And if I have to go over my head to get somebody to do a better job, I'll do it. We'll fight this case to the end, but I only feel fair to warn you. It looks bad.
The court sentenced you 2 years in prison.
No, Commissioner, I'm totally against using criminals to do the job of federal state agents who worked years to get there. I'm totally against it.
Sergeant, I really don't give a hoot what you like. This boy's perfect for the job. He knows these mountains like the back of your hand. And he can drive a car like a flea running across a coon dog's hide. And most importantly, he's got 2 years of hard labor ahead of him. He'll do anything I tell him to do. Anything. And McMahon will like him. You know what I mean?
I don't buy it. I just don't buy it.
Just not looking forward to it. Just not looking forward.
Ronald, I really hate something like this happening. Now, I understand the grief and the tension you're under at this time, but I just wish I could have done more to help. But it's like I said before, now this is a hot issue, but I'll continue to fight for early parole.
I realize now that I made a mistake, that I was wrong, but at the time I was just too blind, just too blind to see, just too blind to see.
Ronald, there's some important personnel here to see you in conference. Now, I don't know why they're here or what they want.
Sit down, Gilbert. I'm Commissioner Green. This is Sergeant Black. You're going to be working with us very closely. McMahan's hoodlums have taken over. They killed Crawford, but we can't prove it. So it's up to you to get enough evidence to put McMahan behind bars for the rest of his life. You know the territory. You know the people, and you can drive a car like a bat out of Georgia. And on top of that, you got a score to settle with McMahan.
Commissioner, I've got friends in those hills. I've got no choice but to take what comes. No choice whatsoever.
These guys are not your friends. They're hoodlums who terrorize everyone. They got the locals hiding in the bushes. Look what they did to Crawford. It's a pretty sight, isn't it? Take a good hard look, Gilbert.
If you expect me to go up against the mob, you've got to be insane. You've got to be insane.
Devil, you say. You see, Ronald, you're like this flower here. You got 2 years of hard labor ahead of you. 1 year, 2 years. That's how long you're in for now. But what's this? Another year for fighting? And another year for hitting the guard? And another year? And another year? And another year? And guess what? Before long, 2 years has turned into 20.
Commissioner, do I need to tell you what to do with that rose? Besides, whatever I do, it won't bring Crawford back.
Ronald, 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 you have the choice. You can help me put McMahan behind bars, or I'll crush the life out of you. Little by little, day by day, year by year, until you're nothing but a withered bag of bones.
Well, under the circumstances, it doesn't look like I have any choice. No, does it, Commissioner?
That's fine, Ron. That's fine. The sergeant here will be putting you in temporary work release down at the plant. Lieutenant Ballinger will be coming down to talk to you, and he'll try to talk you out of it. But he's outranked, so let everything go in one ear and out the other. And remember, Ronald, I'm your gardener.
This morning we found another car with a tanker on it at the bottom of the river.
Lieutenant, if you're trying to scare me, you're wasting your time.
Now, Ronald, you're just walking into the middle of a gang war. If McMahan reveals your identity, you'll get no support from the agency. In other words, you're just a bum with a criminal record.
Lieutenant, I grew up in those hills. I've been driving those mountain roads long before I was even old enough to apply for driver's license. This is what I'm saying. Those are my people. If it comes to war, I know which side to take.
Now, Ronald, let me give you some advice. Even if you're the driver you think you are, you can be shot at any delivery point. Be shot off the road. And if anything goes wrong, you will not only have McMahon on your back and the locals, but the law. This is an undercover operation.
I've got but one question, Lieutenant. If this operation is successful, can McMahon actually be brought to justice in a court of law?
You know, I think that is very possible.
Well, on behalf of Crawford and the other homicide victims, if this man can be brought to justice, I want to be a part of this operation.
Yes, I think I'm looking at a dead man.
Everything's so beautiful.
When I get back, we're going to get that house in the valley and raise that rose garden. Well, let's be getting on back. I've got a long drive ahead of me tomorrow.
Mr. Bobby, Mr. McMahon wanted me to call you. and let you know that he's going to be tied up this week. And he will get back with you next week, probably on Monday. Okay, thank you. Could I help you, sir?
Yes, I have an appointment to talk to Mr. McMahon, please.
Mr. McMahon, Ron Gilbert is here to see you. Okay. Just have a seat. He'll be with you in just a minute.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Maxine, how are you?
I hear you driving for McMahon.
Yes, driving for McMahon. Where is Cousin Jim? He promised to do my mechanic work.
Down at the garage.
Okay, bring your car by tomorrow and we'll start gearing down the transmission. Going to further detail between runs.
Governor, we've conducted this investigation for 3 months now, and we've yet to uncover one shred of evidence to prove your theory of organized crime involvement.
I don't buy it, Commissioner. You haven't stopped these senseless homicides, and fortunately for you, it hasn't been blown out of proportion by the news media.
There's no reason for the news people to get excited over this. We made 5 arrests last week, and 1 was for homicide. The homicide was a case of a jealous boyfriend and a dead lover.
You may have proven your case, and to the best of your knowledge, there are no links whatsoever.
Governor, we continue to make arrests, but it's up to the judicial system to take action. Even this last murder points directly to a love triangle and a jealous lover, and we'll track him down. It's just a matter of time.
No, I'm sorry. Sergeant Smith is out on the call at this time. If you give me a number, I'd have to return your call when he gets back in. All right, let me write this down here. Okay, and I'll have him to call you as soon as he returns. Bye-bye.
Look at these reports. McMahon drove for Capone at age 16. Alleged hitman for Merriman in the 60s. Brought to trial in 62 and 63 on homicide charges. Acquitted on all counts. Acquitted on all counts. Now what do you got to say about that?
Simple, Lieutenant. You don't have as much as one shred of evidence to show that he was guilty. He was brought to trial and acquitted.
Maynard Goo from Chicago, hitman for Murdoch in 66. 2 homicide indictments in 67, embezzlement in 69, homicide in 70, and no
Simple, Lieutenant. No convictions. Look, Frank, ever since you've been here, you've been trying to buck the system, trying to stick your nose in the places that don't belong. One of these days, you're going to wake up and realize that if you keep on bucking the system, you're going to have to pay.
Gilbert has been on assignment for 3 months. So far, I've been left in the dark.
Friends, you drove a long way for nothing.
Gilbert, you were told.
Well, Lieutenant, I reported to Commissioner Green. Well, he's on call at this time.
I'm afraid there's been some mistake. But go on.
Lieutenant, I just called to tell you. McMahon's putting pressure on the locals. Well, if you don't get somebody from those highlands a little later than tomorrow, somebody's going to get killed.
I'm afraid that you're a little late for that. Yes. By all means. You did the right thing by calling. Now, if you will explain the problem in detail, I will personally take action.
Ron, I've reinforced that front end with 2-inch steel tubing. You can run through a brick wall with that. How's the fire tank coming along? Well, the fire tank has been completed. It'll shoot pellets at 200 feet. Make it 100. Well, you better be moving.
Commissioner, I'm afraid Mr. Frank Ballinger's gone behind your back. Take a look at this.
Organized crime linked to murder plot. Menard Goo and Babyface Baynard, 2 alleged gangsters, were arrested today on charges of attempted murder and conspiracy. Information leading to their arrest was reported to local authorities by Lieutenant Frank Ballinger, State Bureau of Investigation. Goo and Baynard were released on $25,000 bail. Lieutenant Ballinger, in a press conference, stated that Goo and Baynard were definite links to organized crime which is running rampant in Virginia and North Carolina. I'm going to have a talk with Lieutenant Ballinger. Thanks to you, Mr. Fancy Pants Lieutenant, you've blown this case.
It's time somebody put forth the effort to do something about this. There's been too many killings.
Well, you don't know that. You had them arrested, and on what charge? Trespassing, and now they're free, while the newspapers are making a heyday on the false rumors that you've started. Well, from this moment on, I want to know who's being arrested, why, and if you've got enough evidence to convict them. Do I make myself clear?
Commissioner, these are alleged hitmen that's armed to kill.
Our responsibility is to arrest and convict the men behind these murders and not to conduct a witch hunt. Let me make myself clear. If you ever go over my head again or go behind my back, I'll have you demoted to a meter maid. Do you understand me, Lieutenant? Do I make myself clear?
Frank, here we don't jump the gun. If you have any more radical ideas, you act alone. Frankly, I think you're getting out of line.
I don't buy it. I just don't buy it. Gilbert informed me that he had orders to report to Green only.
Well, what's that saying?
It's saying that McMahon and Green are working together. What do you think?
Now I know you're just not arrogant. Man, you are crazy. You are absolutely insane.
Don't worry about Gilbert's reference to get in. That's a joke.
I hope you're wrong, Frank. I really hope you're wrong. Because if what you're saying is true, Gilbert's life's not worth a dime. McMahan's boys will blow him away. Hello? Bodies were burnt to a crisp. All we could identify was the New York license plate.
Yeah, some fool sprayed gasoline all over the road back there. I don't know how you can use it. Well, we'll just have to take samples to the lab and get investigated.
Well, I'm afraid this is not going to be the end of it.
Roads are going to get rough.
Gangland murder at state line. Mob-related murders of Honey Boy Lloyd and Kelly Capone were latest in crime epidemic. Moon wars continue as reported by Lieutenant Frank Ballinger.
Gilbert claims he had orders to report to Green and Green only. Under no circumstances was he to report to anyone else. And if it weren't for a phone call and Green not able to be reached, we would never have heard from him.
Judging from the results of the last arrest, I believe it would have been better if we never had heard from him. Lieutenant, in this system, we have rules to follow.
Go to Virginia and find Gilbert and get to the bottom of this.
Frank, you know when you cross the state line, you're out of our jurisdiction. It's just like I said before. You're sticking your nose in a place that don't concern you, and so far all you've done is foul things up.
I don't buy it, Sergeant. There's a rat in the pack, and I'm going to find out who it is.
Lieutenant, how are you?
Fine, thanks.
Come on in and make yourself at home.
Ron, the reason I have come by is that we have reason to believe that Green is behind the organization.
That's very interesting, Lieutenant. Go on.
The Bureau was to assign one man to investigate. If no evidence is compiled, the whole thing blows over.
That's strange, because up until this incident on the roads the other night, I've had no problems. Now, what you're telling me is this man knows my reasons for being here, yet he lets me come and go with the police. Why?
That's right, Gilbert, because you've been played for a sucker. Now, you're being used to keep somebody that could hurt them out of the way. And when your time is up, they're going to put you away because you know too much. For your own good, I want to get you out of here now. I want to take you back with me and replace you with a true agent. He won't have to drive for McMahan. That story is a blanking joke.
Lieutenant, it's obvious you didn't want me to have this assignment from the start. Now, I don't know your reasons. Maybe you feel that I'm not qualified. Maybe you feel that you and me can do better. I don't know. But I just want you to know that whatever the reason, I'm not going behind those bars when I can pull my Tommy to open. I'm just not going to.
Gilbert, I think it's a contract on your life. I think they're going to take you out on the roads, but it could really happen anywhere.
Lieutenant, I appreciate your advice, and I realize that you took a great risk in coming here. And I just want you to know that in the future, I will report to you.
I'm giving you a chance to get out. It's obvious that you're not changing your mind.
Jack, I'm sending an agent down. Yes, he's an agent. I've had him under surveillance for a period of time. No mistakes.
See if I'll get along. I guess I will, some way. I don't like it, but I guess things happen that way. God gave me that girl to lean on, then he put me on my own. Heaven help me be a man, have the strength to stand alone. I don't like it, but I guess things happen that way. You asked me if I'll miss her kisses. I guess I will every day. I don't like it, but I guess things happen that way. You asked me if I'll find another. I don't know. I can't say. I don't like it, but I guess things happen that way.
Jack, I've got a pickup for Mac Mahan.
Pickup is you, friend.
Well, you know, Jack, I was afraid of that. Now, if you don't mind, I'll just walk on out the door.
The only place you're going is to the morgue.
Don't worry, Mac. Don't worry, I'll handle it from here. Patch me through to car 4. This is the commissioner. I want Gilbert stopped, and I mean stop him hard. You know what I mean. Somewhere near Jack's Bar and Grill on Vine Street. Put out an APB on Ronald Gilbert, age 35, Caucasian.
Commissioner, I don't know how he got through, but he got through the city limits.
Idiots. There's no use for such stupidity. Well, Gilbert is of no use to us anymore now. We'll just have to eliminate him.
With a hitman from Alabama, he's on standby. He'll get him.
Sergeant, you inform the highway patrol that we have everything under control. He's got to go up through Highway 74. We'll set a trap for him right here at the usual place.
This man to get him, that's what he paid for.
Mike Mahan, you don't have to go to the roads. It's just not necessary for you to get involved. We'll stop him. I said I'll stop him.
Lieutenant, I want to turn myself in, but as you know, here in Virginia, I'm wanted dead or alive. I just don't see how it's possible.
The state line is in my jurisdiction. You'll have protection on my side. I'll personally see to that.
Lieutenant, I'm having my fire tank rebuilt, and it'll be tomorrow before I start my drive. Yes, I'm safe for tonight.
Stay tuned to Channel 29 and I'll relay all roadblocks and other trap plans before they're set up.
Lieutenant, if I don't make it, I just want you to know that I thank you for your help.
We've got to get in on it. He's not going to blow himself up. There's no excuse for such stupidity. No excuse in the world.
No, he's not a fugitive, but an agent that has been set up. This means if I don't go to jail, we could lose our home and everything I strive for to prepare for the defense.
What are his chances?
Him, next to none. Aiding a fugitive is a serious defense. I just couldn't live with myself if I turned my back now and pretended it's never happened.
Well, you have to do the right thing.
Whatever done, bring this on myself. I'll never know. I'll never know. All I want is just one more chance. One more chance to see the other side of that county line. One more chance. One more chance.
Mac Mahan's best sharpshooter put an end to this Gilbert.
Well, what if he fails?
Then we'll have another operation ready to swing right into place.
got rammed by a transfer truck rounding the gap. The driver is in stable condition with minor cuts and bruises.
Which driver?
The driver of the truck. They sent Goose remains to the morgue in a plastic bag.
The Chicago boys will hit him in the tunnel.
Commissioner, that's insane. Look, let's just suppose the boys get him. The minute the car loses control, innocent people are going to be killed.
Well, Sergeant, these boys are pros. They know what they're doing.
Well, Commissioner, you're supposed to be concerned about the safety of the citizens.
Now, you get this straight. You're in this up to your neck, just like me. If Gilbert talks, that means you'll spend life in prison. Now, how'd you like that? You know what they do to cops in prison.
I just picked up all the wires they're going to hit him in the tunnel.
Gilbert, you got 2 hitmen on your trail. They're going to hit you in the tunnel. Stay in front of all cars. Don't let anyone beside you. I repeat, stay in front of all cars.
Commissioner, he's avoided every roadblock in the tunnel. Now, how did he know those hitmen were on him?
Simple. He's getting help from the inside. But don't you worry about it. I'll take care of it, and I'll handle Mr. Ballinger, too.
Well, he's got but one choice. He's going to have to take I-40 to Highway 29. Why not set up a roadblock at the intersection and cut him off?
He ain't going to stop. He's a crazy man. His life depends on it. No, he might even talk to the media or something. Too many innocent people could get killed or hurt.
Well, why the change of heart, Commissioner? Your heart didn't bleed for him in the tunnel.
Simple, Sergeant. Those people were hitmen. These men are the officers of the law, following my instructions. One blunder and it goes straight to the state capitol.
Well, maybe you're right. Besides, maybe Gilbert might turn himself in. And if he talks...
If you station 2 of our units right here, we'll chase him down to this point. And right here is where Mr. Gilbert's luck has just run out. Ballinger, what have you got to say for yourself? You've been pushing your luck, and now you've broken the law, aiding and abetting a fugitive. As of now, you're relieved of your duties.
Commissioner, you know as well as I do that a charge this serious goes before the board. I'll be in control long enough for him to make it.
Well, you listen to me. He's not going to make it, you hear? And this is going to cost you your job, and I'll personally see that you're put into jail. Do you hear me?
What are we going to do, Commissioner?
Mac Mahan's our only hope. He's the only one who can stop Gilbert now.
I realize Mac Mahan has quite a reputation, but is he that good? What I'm saying, Commissioner, can he cut Gilbert off?
Are you kidding? Mac's the best there is. Besides, he's our only hope.
So the old man's coming out from behind the desk.
Yes, they talk about this man even in the big cities. It's called a mountain man, the man that swings those mountain curves at outrageous speed.
Maybe at his age, his reflexes will slow down.
I hope so.
Hold on, I'll find out.
Okay, Sergeant, get on the radio and inform all units to meet me at the North Carolina state line. We're going to bring this man in alive if he makes it. With a car wreck the following day, Jim Barlow, Gilbert's personal mechanic, brought in information sent by Gilbert leading to the arrest of the organization.
Are you trying to say this organization was destroyed and these men were convicted on hearsay information scribbled on pieces of paper?
These men that died in the car chases were definitely mob connected. This, along with these pieces of paper, led to a statewide investigation.
For the records, Lieutenant, they never found anything in the burning house to identify with the Gilbert's remains. What is the real story?
From the day of the car wreck, Gilbert's wife is yet to be seen. I honestly believe they're both alive and well under another name.
Are you trying to say that man escaped from the wreckage and that burning house? Isn't that just wishful thinking?
I believe this man took the job out of concern for his people. He did his job. Escape was his only way out because there was a contract on his life.
Very interesting, Lieutenant, very interesting. But let's face it, you just don't want him to be dead.
I believe the young road warrior is very much alive.